to defund their police. Arkansas went the opposite direction. We fund our police, and we will back the blue every single day in this state. From the PROTECT Act to Death by Delivery to the Defense Against Criminal Illegals Act, we have fought to give law enforcement the tools they need to do their job and protect Arkansans. We put a law and order and rehabilitation-focused majority on the Board of Corrections. We ensured the most violent criminals serve their full sentence. We've opened 1,500 new beds at existing prison facilities, and we created a recidivism pilot program to get inmates back in the workforce and kept off the streets once they've served their time. In 2024, I announced a new state employee pay plan to give our heroes in law enforcement and our corrections officers the raises that they deserve. In this year's budget, we are fully funding that commitment. At the end of last year, our latest troop school graduated and was led by Trooper Bailey Bowers. Trooper Bowers started in law enforcement as a state trooper in his home state of Michigan. But 3 years into his career up north, he wanted a change. The pay raise we provided to new state troopers encouraged Bailey to make the leap and enroll in troop school in Arkansas. But money wasn't the only thing that brought him here. He also valued leadership. And when he arrived at the troop school, he was able to focus on his 3 priorities: God, family, and the Arkansas State Police. He says it meant something that there were Bibles in the barracks and that he and a group of other troop school students could gather after lights out and pray. Today, Trooper Bowers is based at Troop L in Northwest Arkansas, and he is just one of many state troopers who have come to our state because of competitive pay, a great environment, and a state that will always protect our people and always stand with our law enforcement. Trooper Bowers, thank you for your service. We are so grateful for our heroes in uniform. Thank you, Trooper Bowers. When you send me a budget, think of Trooper Bailey Bowers and all the men and women of law enforcement who keep us safe and are counting on us to back them up. The budget we work together to pass doesn't just invest in education. It doesn't just invest in public safety. It doesn't just invest in our most vulnerable. It also holds the line on out-of-control growth of government. And I know that that hasn't been easy. I tasked our state agencies to do more with less, so we can deliver savings while still providing quality service and investing more in our key priorities. Thank you to the members of the cabinet who are in the back of the room who have helped make that possible. You guys are doing an amazing job. Best team in the country. My Arkansas Forward initiative plays a key part in that effort. For example, we had unused phone and fax lines, but we were still paying monthly contracts on them. Arkansas Forward cut those and is now saving taxpayers $1.4 million every year just getting rid of something we weren't using. We renegotiated contracts with child welfare providers to return $5.2 million to the state. We brought a costly web application contract at the Office of Early Childhood in-house, saving us $2.4 million. In total, Arkansas Forward has identified at least $300 million in savings and is working rapidly toward implementing those efficiencies. In the meantime, you and I have worked together to cut our state income tax by over 20% in the last 3 years, returning more than $1 billion back to taxpayers. We worked together and we eliminated Arkansas's most regressive tax, the grocery tax, so families can afford to put more food on their tables. To fuel investment and growth, I signed executive orders to streamline state government, cutting permitting in half and removed regulations. I've led economic trade missions around the world to secure deals that helped further establish our state as a leader in aerospace, defense, steel, energy, and advanced manufacturing, creating thousands of high-paying jobs for Arkansans. Thanks in part to that work, Arkansans are producing some of the key components of Israel's Iron Dome, and hopefully will be instrumental in building President Trump's Golden Dome to protect America. We cut the permitting time on new energy projects from 18 months down to 6 months, helping Arkansans continue to enjoy some of the lowest utility rates in the country. The results are indisputable. Arkansas was recently ranked the #1 state for lowest cost of living, the #1 state Americans are relocating to for the second year in a row, and the #1 fastest growing economy in the nation. And as of this morning, we have more people working in our state than ever before in Arkansas. That's a good thing. Arkansas has never been stronger, but we still have challenges. For many, affordability is still a struggle, and some of our most vulnerable are particularly exposed. A priority in my budget is the 1033 initiative, named after a passage in the Bible, Luke 10:33, the parable of the Good Samaritan. Jesus told the parable of the Good Samaritan after he commanded his followers to love your neighbor as yourself. As Christians and as lawmakers, we are called to be that Good Samaritan and to care for the least among us. We also know that keeping people trapped in a cycle of dependency isn't caring for them. It's making them forever reliant on government, and that is unacceptable. The 1033 initiative breaks that cycle. Holly Reyes, who is joining us today from Russellville, is someone whose story we want to see repeated all across Arkansas. Several years ago, Holly was in court, and not for the first time. She'd been driving for 5 years with a suspended license, was battling addiction, living in a homeless shelter with her kids, and had just left a 20-year-long relationship. It was Holly's rock bottom. Tickets had piled upon suspensions, suspensions had piled upon fines. She tried to explain it all to the judge, but he told her to sit and wait until the end of the docket. Holly was sure she was headed to jail. Instead, the judge did something totally unexpected. He told her about a community support model that could turn her life around. Through that program, Holly was assigned an advocate, Latasha. Holly told her she was overwhelmed by the barriers she faced. I don't know how to maintain sobriety. I don't know how to pay my bills. I don't know how I'm going to feed my kids. But Latasha helped. First, they applied for SNAP to get Holly's kids groceries. They got Holly a driver's license. They found Holly a permanent place to live and a job opportunity. The next time Holly was in court to get her license back, she wasn't alone. Latasha was standing there with her. And today, Holly doesn't just have a driver's license. She's employed, off food stamps, and she's sober. Holly, we are so proud of the enormous change you have made to your life and for the courage to let us tell your story. Thank you. When you send me a budget, think of Holly and the thousands of other vulnerable Arkansans that we can move from crisis to career through the 1033 initiative. We will show that integrated technology and strong community partnerships will decrease the need for welfare, grow our workforce, and deliver taxpayer savings through more efficient use of resources. Today, I'm asking all of us to make the right but tough decisions. We can care for our people, and we can still hold the line on the expansion of government. No new Medicaid coverage mandates, no additional long-term ongoing expenses. If we do that together, as soon as we pass our budget, I will call a special session to cut income taxes for the 4th time in 4 years. This will allow us to immediately cut taxes by another 0.2 of a point and return more than $180 million to taxpayers this year. When we do this together, we will have cut 25% off of our state income tax in just 4 years and given back more than $1.5 billion to our people. Low taxes and a great quality of life are a really big reason that people move to our state. But I believe the best way to keep our state growing is to protect and preserve our values and our way of life. No woke indoctrination in our classrooms. No men in women's sports. No big tech exploiting our kids. No catch and release for the most dangerous, violent criminals, and no foreign adversaries in Arkansas. I am proud to have worked with this body to be the first governor in the country to kick communist China off of our farmland and out of our state and make them pay for it on the way out the door. Arkansans love God and one another, and we must never forget what makes our state truly unique and special, our shared faith. We can be confident in our future, not because we are great and strong, but because Christ is great and strong within us. During my 2.5 years serving as President Trump's press secretary, I traveled on every single one of his foreign trips. The most unforgettable was December 25th of 2018. And I'm sure some of you, as I'm starting this story, think you've heard it before, but just wait until the end. My husband Brian and I had just cleaned up the wrapping paper left around the house by our 3 kids when I had to walk out on my own family's Christmas. I couldn't tell them where I was going.